Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Boyce to talk to you a little bit about remote learning. And really, this is more, I could apply really to anyone. We're going to talk about emailing and how to best email your teachers. You've been emailing your teachers just as a group of students way more over the last, well, I guess 8 months or so now than you probably ever have. So we want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that's going to be effective because it'll save you time and it'll save your teachers time. So I will show you here. I've got a screen pulled up with my personal email just because my work email has potential of having some confidential stuff on it, and my personal email is just full of spam. So um, in a classic example of do as I say, not as I do, I will have another video about how to organize your inbox, which clearly I don't do on my personal email. I do on my work email. But you don't ever want to be in a situation where you have 16,000 emails like I do now. So we'll talk about that later. But today we do want to talk about um, how to write an effective email. So I'm going to actually switch over to a graphic that I came across from the Texas Computer Education Association. So shout out to them for coming up with this example here about how to email a teacher. So the first thing we're going to want to do in the subject line is include a short summary of your email. We have been seeing students composing the entire email in the subject line. You don't want to do that because it's difficult for your teacher or your recipient to read. So your subject line should be 2 to 6 words, and it should have specificity. It should be specific. So don't put nothing, don't put a ton of stuff, but you can put an example like history paper or today's lesson, or like they have here, missing assignment or late work. So what your email is about specifically, but you don't need to put too much more than that. Sometimes you could put a word in there like urgent or please help or something like that, but you want to avoid putting the actual message in there. Your teacher will read all of your emails anyway. Second, you're going to start with a greeting. Treat an email kind of like any other communication. It's always nice to start a communication with a greeting. So say, hello, hi. It's also very good to put in your teacher's name, to address them by name, to know that, just kind of add that little personal touch. So you'll say something like, hi, Mr. Sweet, or hi, Mr. Livingston, or I apparently am only coming with social studies teachers right now, but whoever your teachers are, you can say good morning, you can say whatever you want, but definitely include a greeting in there. Okay, then in your actual message, you want to make sure that throughout your message, you're right to the point, and including try to be as precise as possible with your information. So the first thing you're going to put is why you're emailing. It's very easy just to start by saying, I am emailing you because, or I need help with. So it doesn't have to be super elaborate, just a few words, but tell them why you're emailing. And then at the end of the email, you're going to definitely want to put a closing, something like thank you, or have a good day, or see you soon, or I look forward to hearing from you, something like that. So in your why, be very specific. I need help with this. I have this question. And then say thank you or something like that in your closing. And then put your name on there. I'm not a huge fan of how they worded it here, but you have a name. Be proud of who you are. Sign your name to it. Okay. So it shouldn't just be one sentence without a greeting, without a name, because it just adds a little bit of a personal touch, and it's showing that you've thought about what you're saying. And then, of course, it's always nice to see, whatever name you go by in there. So the example here, they have the subject missing assignment. They have a nice greeting. Good morning. I'm emailing because I've already turned in my book report, but it shows that I'm missing. That's a very clear and concise way to have a very specific question that will work very well. And then thank you as the closing, and then the person's name. So that's a really good way to structure the email. And then, of course, you're going to click send. In a future video, I'll show you how to organize your inbox. Again, don't do it this way because that's a hot mess. But again, it's full of spam anyway. I don't really use my personal email nearly as much as my work one. So thanks for watching. Email your teachers, follow those guidelines, and I think you'll have much more efficient communication back and forth if you're unable to see them in person and can't ask the question in your meet. Of course, that face-to-face, whether it's virtual or in real life, is going to be the best communication, but it's always good to make sure that you have a well-written email. A couple other things I do want to note. One, your teachers will respond to you as quickly as they can, but please be respectful of their time. if you email them after 3:30 or 4 o'clock, you should not expect a response until the next day. That's after the teacher's workday. They've got families and lives too. We all do, believe it or not. So you may get some response from some teachers and not from others. But please don't email a teacher in the evening and expect a response or ask for a response within a few minutes, because that is time for teachers to be at home, and it's very important to have a work-life balance. We have an extremely hardworking group of teachers. They're happy to help, but please be respectful if you can of their time. And also, it's okay to send a reminder to anyone you send an email to say, hey, just checking back in on this if you don't get a response, but allow a little bit of a reasonable amount of time for your teachers to get back to you, because they are getting a lot of emails also, and they're working as hard as they can to get through them. So allow a little bit of time, but it's not inappropriate to say, hey, I'm just wanted to check in on this. Of course, if you do it nicely. These are skills that you should use for all of your emailing. It's not a skill that we teach as much as we should, so we'll definitely probably include that. But it's important to know it's not really a letter, it's not a text, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. But if you use these guidelines, I think you'll find some effective communication. So that's a good, just quick breakdown on how you can communicate with your teachers through email. I'll keep putting out some more videos to help you a little bit with your remote learning. But again, my name is Dr. Boyce. If you have any questions at all, send me an email, or you can stop down to my office in the main office area anytime you want. I hope everybody's staying safe out there, and I hope you have a great day.